Well, I think such platforms are indispensable for Africa in particular in this age of energy transition, partly because this continent is going to play a major role in this energy transition as a result of our endowments in critical minerals. And the battery EV value chain or supply chain is it's an industry that Africa has a competitive advantage to get involved in. In this sense, we need to understand it fully. We need to share knowledge, share experiences, have a sense of ownership of the sector. And platforms such as this, obviously, provides opportunity for those countries that aspire to be the hub of this industry, battery metals supply chain, will be sort of converging either nationally or regionally, and then discuss. Also, at the national level, of course, you need stakeholders to engage. And right now, at this meeting, you have government, you have civil society, you have private sector, you have corporates, industry captains, and all the stakeholders, investors as well, that are needed to rally around policies, frameworks, legal codes, and so on, so that there's an alignment of interest among these stakeholders to be able to deliver on implementing this whole vision of a battery mineral-based industry in Africa, particularly the DRC. Yes. Well, I mean, obviously, the first challenge is the policy environment in terms of the legal framework that allows particularly local businesses to take a stake in this industry. You need a very strong policy of, for example, local content to be elaborated, to be clearly measurable in terms of progress. And that doesn't seem to be in place. So that's the first order of things. If you want to achieve any transformation or change in an economy, you need the legal codes that industry has to respect and abide by and comply. So that's the first order of business. And I don't think as of yet there is a very robust local content policy for the industry, for the mining sector that has been implemented. There are some sort of sub-sector laws here and there, but the overall overarching legal framework has not been put in place. The other thing is capital, access to capital. You need capital to be able to create local businesses that will take advantage of these opportunities. We all know that the raw materials are there. We know that the mining companies are usually foreign investors, but what we need is the allied businesses and industries that make battery metals industry viable. So that means you need access to capital. And it's not easy to find investors, local investors or entrepreneurs with capital. So there has to be some form of joint ventures, or there has to be some venture capital even created by local institutions, whether government through pension funds or through other sort of multilateral lending, that will create opportunities for local business to access finance so that they can start local businesses that will take advantage of the procurement potential, but also even creating in terms of research and innovation in this sector. And then finally, the infrastructure challenge, which it's everywhere, but particularly formidable in a huge country like the Democratic Republic of Congo. There is some initiatives going on now with the corridor, the Lobito corridor, which passes through this country. There are other projects, but Overall, there needs to be massive investments in infrastructure that will unleash the potential for mineral processing plants to be located close to where the mines are. You can't choose where your mine is, but at least you can put in the infrastructure that will help easy access to mineral processing plants, which can be movable in terms of location, but you have to get there. So these are the challenges, I think, the key ones that, and of course, the issue of sustainability in terms of how do you ensure that this whole industry will be sustainable, both in terms of environmental sustainability, social community cohesion and development that will also mitigate some of the cost and negative externalities of any kind of industry. And of course, environmental sustainability as well. Well, I think there's a convergence of interest globally. The geopolitics is right for Africa, and Africans ought to be ready to take advantage. And that simply means getting our house in order, and that's one of the things I referred to earlier in terms of policies to attract the right kind of investments and partnerships, but also taking responsibility and ownership of this opportunity and not leave it to other actors to be the one. We shouldn't be reacting to outside opportunities. We should be an agent of initiating, implementing, carrying forward, sharing knowledge, peer learning, and experience sharing. All of these are form of capacity building. And that ultimately will be the determinant of whether or not we take advantage of this opportunity. The main risk is technological risk, because a lot of these EV battery, it's still very much new. And every day research is discovering different options available. So sooner or later, with all the endowments, the resources we have, it may be redundant. It will be what they call stranded assets, that we may not be able to use it. So we better be on our toes and really take advantage before it's too late. And we can do it.